AITA for refusing to let a woman change the TV channel. I, 25F, live in an apartment complex with a community clubhouse. Since I work from home, I visit the clubhouse often. I've found it convenient to keep a streaming account logged in on the TV, and I even created a separate profile specifically for residents to use if they'd like. To set the scene, the Super Bowl was this past weekend, and I figured some residents might want to watch the game on the large clubhouse TV. Before the game started, I decided to walk over and see what was happening. To my surprise, there wasn't a single person in the building. I didn't really care about watching the game myself, but I assumed someone else would, so I set up the game on my streaming service and sat down. My plan was to watch the first half and then leave the game playing for anyone else to enjoy. Halfway through the second quarter, a woman probably in her 40s walked in with her young son who looked to be about 3 years old and sat in the chairs next to mine. She sat in the seat closest to me, so I assumed she had come to watch the game as well. However, to my surprise, she sighed and asked, "Are you watching this?" Before I could even respond, she started searching around for the remote and said, "We don't have a smart TV at home, so we'd like to use YouTube on this TV." Now, let me be clear. I don't actually care about the Super Bowl. I wasn't invested in who won, and I have a TV at home where I could watch the game if I wanted. But Reddit, there was something about this woman's tone that instantly turned me into the world's biggest Seahawks fan. In that moment, I felt like a lifelong NFL season ticket holder, with everything riding on this game. And in that moment, I think I may have become the asshole. Here's how the conversation unfolded. "Yes, I am watching this. It's the Super Bowl tonight, lady right, but we can't get what we need on TV at home, and the Super Bowl is on everywhere. So do you mind? Me, I get it, but I was kinda here first and am enjoying my time. Lady, this is a community center, which means as a community, we need to respect each other in the communal areas. It's not respectful to hoard a space meant for all. Me, if you plan to use a communal space tonight, you should have made sure you arrived first. You're more than welcome to join. Meath halftime show will be on soon." The woman scoffed, relocated to another table, and sat in the corner on her phone. Meanwhile, her son clearly wanted to watch his show, and this made me feel awful. For the next 30 minutes, she stayed in the corner, and it felt like she was trying to ice me out. Eventually, she muttered something under her breath and left. Here's why I might be the asshole. I probably chose a hill to die on that wasn't worth it. She was right that I could have watched the Super Bowl at home, and it's true that I didn't actually care about the game. Her son really seemed to care about watching his show, and I wonder if I should have just swallowed my pride and let him enjoy some YouTube. So, ETA, thank you all for your thoughts and judgments. The opinions have been mixed, but I've concluded that I probably was the asshole in this situation for holding my ground over something I didn't even care deeply about, especially at the expense of a 3-year-old. I'd like to address a few points and clarify some details. I didn't stay longer than I originally planned. I left after the halftime show, which was always my intention. Some people seem to interpret it as me choosing to stay longer just because of the interaction with this woman, but that's not the case. I did mention to her at some point that I wasn't staying for the whole game. The woman and her son left before I did. The reason I mentioned the streaming service is that the Clubhouse TV doesn't have cable. The only way to watch the Super Bowl was through Peacock, which I had logged into. That being said, I now see how keeping my account signed in may have sent the wrong message about ownership or control of the TV. While I thought I was being helpful, I understand now that it might have unintentionally complicated the dynamics of a space meant to be communal. In light of this experience, I've decided to start logging out of any apps or services whenever I use communal devices. I also reached out to my landlord to see if there are any established rules for communal spaces and suggested that management set clear expectations for residents to follow. I figure that if everyone knows the rules up front, misunderstandings like this can be avoided. Finally, I've taken some time to reflect on my own use of the Clubhouse and how it might impact others. I usually spend about 12 hours there, 3 times a week, working on my laptop. I tend to sit in the same spot and stick to the same time frame, which I now realize may be frustrating for someone with a similar schedule who hopes to use the space undisturbed. Going forward, I plan to spend less time in the clubhouse and explore other local spots like coffee shops or libraries. In fact, I've already found a cafe that I love, and I'm excited to discover more cozy spaces that aren't in my building. Who knew this experience would teach me such a big life lesson? Thanks again for all your input. Discuss in the comments section below, and I'll pin the most upvoted comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to hear more stories animated and read by AI.